Hello, hello everyone. Okay, so we're going to work with the Feel the Beat collection from Wild Whisper today, and I was inspired by that pattern paper that I'm showing you. It reminded me of the cut file that you'll see here from Cut to You, and I thought it would be super fun to play off the colors in that paper and alter this cut file a little bit, and then we're going to play with a lot of this Feel the Beat collection. I'm going to start with my colors, and I'm going to ink blend this entire cut file. I'm going to use a Blueprint Sketch, Candied Apple, and Fossilized Amber. I'm going to let the colors mix so that we have some purple and some orange. I'm going to let them blend into each other. And yeah, this was a ton of ink blending. I put Post-it tape on my hands. You can see it a little bit there so that the ink would not get all over parts of the cut file I didn't want it to be on. And this was so fun to do. I could never have done this with my stencil brushes or with an ink blending tool. I probably would have had hand fatigue and pain like one color in. But these brushes require so little pressure and they're so nice and fit so well in your hand that it was fine. I did the whole thing, no worries. So in between colors, I'm cleaning everything up and I'm going in with the different colors. I think I dedicated 3 brushes so that I didn't have to clean my brushes between colors. Not that it's hard to clean them, but it just seemed a bit easier to do it that way than to have it to be. I was cleaning up the mixed media, my media mat in between the colors, and so it just seemed like one less thing I had to clean. So yeah, I have different colors. I have 3 brushes, and each brush is for a different color. I am also kind of tapping some of my color off onto the media mat, which doesn't hurt it in the least. And then I'm making sure that these edges blend really, really well. So I get those in-between colors between the blue and the red, and then between the yellow and the red. And I love how these colors kind of just blend so well together. And wait until I start to put the pattern papers and the elements from the Feel the Beat collection from Wild Whisper on top of this. And it is gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this cut file turned out. I'm actually really, really happy with how this entire layout turned out. I had a spark of this is what I want to do, and I went ahead and put it together, and it turned out exactly the way I had envisioned it in my head, which if you're a scrapbooker, you know, never happens. Okay, so I decided that the next thing I want to do is I really did want to back some of these little rectangles. Not a lot of them, but just do a color on color. Because see, there's that real dark blue that matches the Blueprint Sketch. There's some purple that's going to match the middle purples. And so just every so often around this cut file, I'm just going to back it color on color. And to make sure that I'm getting this right, instead of trying to turn it over, because this paper that I'm working with to back the cut file is actually a 12 by 12 paper with all these little circles on it. So to get it correctly, I'm putting the right side of the cut file on top of the right side of the paper, and then using a pencil to just go around the outside and then back it. This cut file is from Cut to You, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'll link it in the description box below so you can check it out if you wanted. Now initially I had thought that I was going to do it this way, like have the cut file kind of fall off the edge of the paper and then have my photo at the end of these shapes, but I wasn't feeling that. So I'm going to think about it for a bit. I know I want to back my photo onto this one journaling card, so we have that pretty yellow. So this is a photo taken in July 1st. My husband and I and my brother and sister-in-law, we went on vacation to visit my brother and my sister-in-law, and one of the things that we did, us four adults, is we went and saw Hugh Jackman's show in Washington, D.C. It was fabulous. I cannot recommend it enough. If you have children, you can take your kids. Like, it's wonderful. It's much more similar to like a musical or a show. It's a show. It's not a concert, really. It's really more of a show, and it's really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some Nuvo, and I'm just putting that right down onto my white paper. I'm not popping it up or anything like that. Just didn't seem like it needed it, and I wanted it to be more of a background element, and I'm going to do a little bit more to it now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through all of these die cuts that come in this collection. If you have music lovers, if you like concerts, this is a really great, fun collection. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go through and kind of decide what I want to do next. So I'm thinking about die cuts. I'm thinking about those two flares. I know I want to do something that is color on color a little bit, and you can see off to the bottom there how I've kind of separated or set aside some of the die cuts that are color on color. And so this is what I decided to do. We're going to stamp. So this collection has a lovely stamp set. I always love Wild Whisper stamp sets. They are just manufactured really, really well, and they give really good impressions. And so I decided I'm going to take all these little musical stamps and I'm going to create a border all the way around my page. This was a lesson of love. I didn't pull out my Misty because I just felt like I wanted to do it kind of freehand. I wanted to do some free range stamping. I thought it would be a little bit easier without the Misty, just because this wasn't something that required a lot of precision necessarily. These weren't real intricate stamps, and I had this tiny, tiny little acrylic block that would kind of make it easy for me to just go all the way around the edges. And I followed my Distress Oxide colors all the way around the edge of this layout. I just used all those music notes. I have them kind of up and down and falling off the page a little bit, and I made this beautiful border. I think this layout I'm telling you guys, this layout turned out so nice. I can't even say with any great deal of certainty that this is like a style for me, but it fit those photos so well. And sometimes I do like to play with the bright colors. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead now, kind of clean up, and then we'll get started figuring out the rest of this layout. Okay, so what I decided to do is I'm going to stick with this color on color thing. I pulled die cuts that, if it had a lot of blue, it's going to go down there in the blue. If it had a lot of orange or purple, it's going to go up there. So I have three clusters, one on either side of the photo and then one kind of down below. And then I'm going to just kind of nestle my title right there on the side. And so I am pop dotting some of the elements. I'm going to cut a few of the elements in half. I have chosen a few things that are words and a few things that are icons that went with the feel of the show and what we saw during the show. Ideally, I would have had blue letters for this title, but I didn't have any blue letters, so I kind of just had to make it work. So I went with a couple of two different kinds of thickers, one that is just a black and one that is a black and a white. And I just put the name of the show, which is The Man, the Myth, the Show. That's what it was called. So I just popped it up there. We were up really high, and so photographs weren't the easiest thing to take, and I only just have a couple. And this is probably, I know this will be the only one I scrapbook because it was my favorite. I happened to catch it just right. And instead of taking a photo of the tiny little person on the stage that you couldn't tell who it was, I took a photo of the big screens in the background so you could really see who it was that we were seeing in the show. So I'm just going to go ahead and add extra adhesive to my thickers, and that's going to complete this layout. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you are all having a fabulous beginning to your week. Please stick around. I'd love for you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Those are always amazing things to do to help support YouTube channels. So I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye.